is your horoscope for the month of April, and without further ado, let's get started. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is the new moon in Pisces that happened on March 13th. I want to talk about this because as we enter April, we will still be with this new moon energy till April 11th, till the new moon in Aries. Now, what is this new moon in Pisces energy all about that started on March 13th? Since March 13th, we have been releasing the past. We have been letting go of a lot of old baggage that we have been carrying with us for years. It's not recent baggage that we're letting go of, it's baggage that has been with us for years and years and years. So, as we enter the month of April, we will still be releasing the past. That energy of letting go is not completely over yet. It will be with the new moon in Aries on 11th April, but we'll talk about that. So I thought I'd mention that before we get started. And yeah, that's that. So the first major aspect that is happening in the month of April is that Mercury changes signs. From Pisces, it comes into Aries. If you see, this chart is open to 4th of April, but on 3rd of April, which is a Saturday, Mercury changes signs from Pisces to Aries. It's at 0° Aries here. Now, this is quite significant because in Pisces, we were still resolving the past in our minds. We were still letting go of the past in our minds. And that process lasted with us for a few weeks. But now, as Aries changes signs, letting go of the past from the mind would have been complete. We would have let go of it completely. Okay, so it is significant. And before I go forward, a lot of this energy, the sun, Venus, all this was in Pisces a few weeks ago. Okay, and what that meant was the focus was letting go of the past. With the new moon on March 13th, it was a huge letting go process. But now a lot of that energy has shifted into the sign of Aries. The sun is here, Venus is here, and this means that yes, we are releasing. But the focus has become the building of the new identity. We are building our new identity. And Mercury was lagging behind, okay? Our mind was still lingering in the past somehow. But on April 3rd, as it moves into Aries, our mind would have caught up with letting go of the past and starting to focus on building the new more and more. All right, so that is quite significant. The next major thing happens on April 4th. The chart is open to that date, April 4th, 2021, which is a Sunday. On this day, there is the last quarter square of the moon. Now, what is this? The last quarter square is basically when we start letting go, we start releasing, we start forgiving. And what are we letting go? What are we releasing? We are letting go of the new moon cycle that began on March 13th, which was all about letting go of the past. So this is a point where we let go of more things. And let me mention that it's a square. Square is a 90-degree angle, okay? And it may not always feel easy. It may not always feel easy, but it brings about change, it brings about growth. And this time it's about letting go more, letting go of the past more. Forgiving those who have hurt us in the past. Okay, because this is important as we step into the Aries energy, as we step into April, where we will focus on building our new identity. Okay. Now, yes. Okay, the next significant aspect happens on April 9th. So let's move to that day and see what's happening. Okay. April 9th. There we go. Now Saturn is going to trine. Saturn is here. Let's move the chart a little bit forward. There. Okay. Saturn is going to trine the North Node. Now this is extremely significant because Saturn is a builder. Saturn is a very slow energy. It is also the ruler of this reality. And the North Node is where we are headed, the path we are going towards. Saturn trine the North Node just means that Saturn is really helping us set the structures, take decisions, build the foundation that'll help us move towards our path. So this is an extremely positive thing. And with its sextile to the South Node, Saturn sextile the South Node, this is the point where the release of the past will become very easy. Okay, because we're still releasing, we're still in that new moon energy of March 13th, we're still releasing. Saturn will make it very easy to set the foundation to step forward into the future and let go of the past. All right. And this is at a very good time because the new moon in Aries is on April 11th, and a few days, maybe 2 3 days before the new moon, we start to release a lot of the old moon cycle. We start releasing it, and this, with Saturn trine the north node, Saturn sextile the south node, this release process is even more enhanced. And Saturn is supporting us release and move towards the future and build that foundation to create that new identity. Because Aries is our identity. It's who we are. It's how the world sees us. It's how we represent ourselves to the world. It's also the beginning of the zodiac. So we are beginning things now. As we reach the new moon on April 11th, we would begin a new zodiac cycle. It started on March 20th when the sun moved into the sign of Aries, but the actual starting point happens with the new moon. So that energy of building the new, of coming into a new zodiac cycle, of letting go of the past, will become very solidified on April 11th. And on April 9th, Saturn trine the north node, sextile the south node, is just setting that structure for us to take decisions so that we can move towards our path. Okay. Now, let's see the event that I have been talking about quite a bit, which is the new moon in Aries, which happens on April 11th. So, yeah, let me just pull up the exact chart for you guys so that you can see it. 22 degrees is when it happens, I believe. Yeah, around 22, 23 degrees. So the moon is here and the sun is here. Now, what is a new moon? New moon is when the sun, which is right here, and the moon are together. And that signifies a new beginning. That signifies a new cycle. And every month we have this. So every month we have a new beginning. And what is this beginning about for us? After releasing the past last month, beginning on March 13th, this month it's about building the new you. And this is when the energy really kicks in, where you start building and seeing a tangible form of what you're building. Okay? And look at this new moon. Venus is right next to it. Okay? It's blessing our identity. It's conjunct Venus. Venus is a benefic. So the new moon is an extremely positive one. We will feel positive when it comes to building our identity, relationships, our skills, how we make money, how we look, all things connected to Venus. If we are building those, it's a positive thing. Okay? So that is what happens. And on the new moon, and this new moon is going to last till May 11th. So till May 11th, you'll be building your new identity. A lot of focus will be on this. And with so much energy in Aries, look, Venus is in Aries, the sun, the moon, Mercury is in Aries, Chiron is in Aries. So we are even healing our old identity. We thought we were something, but I don't think we are that anymore. There have been a lot of changes in the past year and a half, and now we are discovering our new self. We are letting go of our old self. And this month, from April 11th to May 11th, till the new moon in Taurus, we're just going to be extremely focused on building that identity. It could be through a relationship, it could be through an acquired skill, it could be a new route to make money, it could be how you look, it could be that you adopt some sort of art, or you change your surroundings, whatever it is for you. Okay, it could be a new identity in that way, and that identity is going to heal us. It's got a very healing aspect to it. Okay, so that's the new moon in Aries that happens on April 11th. And the next significant thing happens on April 14th. So let's see that. I like to show you guys the chart so that you also see what I'm talking about. Okay, Venus enters Taurus. Now, Venus has been in Aries for quite some time, and Venus does not really like to be in Aries because Aries is a very masculine sign. It likes to get things done, it likes to go towards its goal, it's the warrior, it reacts, it's the go getter. But Venus is a very feminine energy and it feels a little uncomfortable in Aries. But it loves Taurus, it rules Taurus. And what is Venus? Venus is our skills, it's how we make money, it's our relationships, it's how we look, it's what makes us feel good. So now, when it comes into the sign of Taurus, we'll start feeling better regarding relationships, how we look, how we feel, our skills, our self worth, our values. We'll feel better about these things. We'll feel more stable because Taurus is a very stable sign. Okay, in Aries, you can feel like, okay, there's a lot of go getting energy in Aries, and that does not sit well with Venus. Okay, so April 14th, that is what happens, and slowly you'll start to see planets will from Aries move into Taurus. Now, I'm going to go over when this happens, but the basic gist of this is Aries is a very fast energy, Taurus is a very slow, stable energy. So, till these planets move into the sign of Taurus, we will have a lot of fast energy. But when it comes to Taurus, we will still be building our identity, but at a slower pace, with a more stable mindset. It will not feel as let's do this now, let's do this now, let's get this done now. It won't feel like that. It'll feel more relaxed, it'll feel slower. And I think that's a good thing because we've been going through a lot of stimulation with Mars in Gemini. Mars has been in Gemini since March 3rd. And we've been all over the place. We want to learn this, we want to do this, we want to talk to this person, we want to have fun, we want to do so many things because Gemini wants to do everything. It's very restless, it likes different things. So we've been going through a lot of that energy, and I think all the planets slowly, beginning with Venus, then the Sun, then Mercury, shifting Venus, Mercury, and then the Sun, sorry, shifting into Taurus will slow the pace down a little bit. And I think that's a good thing. That being said, let's see the next important aspect, which happens on April 19th. This is when Mercury enters Taurus. Mercury is here, it enters the sign of Taurus after Aries. Okay. In Aries, Mercury is simply put our mind. It's also our day-to-day routine, it's health, it's diet, it's all those things, it's work, it's our job. But very simply put, it's our mind. So I believe from April 3rd to April 19th, our mind will be very focused on building these things, building our new identity, building our new diet if you have one, building our new job, our work, building our new routine. It will be focused on all these things. Okay, but as it enters Taurus, we would have done the work. On April 19th, we would have started to slow down that mental energy that has been so much. We'll start to tone it down. Probably because we would have reached a point where we would have done a lot of the building. A lot of the intense work required to build would have been complete by April 19th. We will still continue to build till May 11th, but the intensity of starting things would have started to slow down by April 19th as Mercury enters the sign of Taurus. Okay. Then on April 20th, I believe, April 20th. Yeah, April 20th. I'm not going to pull the chart back a little bit, but it happens at 0 Leo, first quarter phase of the moon. First quarter phase of the moon is a point where we face challenges, where we have to overcome obstacles, where we have to grow, okay? And grow, face obstacles and challenges and grow in terms of what? In terms of the new moon cycle that we started on April 11th, which is all about building a new identity. So at this time, you may feel like I'm facing some challenges in the identity that I started to build on April 11th. How do I overcome it? How do I need to grow to be on my path, to build that identity? What do I need to change? So this is the dialogue that will be going on within you on April 20th. And I forgot to mention, so let me pull the chart back a little bit. Yeah, before This is for April 18th into 19th. Before Mercury enters the sign of Taurus, it's going to conjunct the sun. Okay, when Mercury conjuncts the sun, it receives a message from the sun, the higher place, so to speak. Why? Because Mercury is the messenger of the gods. And I believe we will receive some message which will probably be positive because Venus is right there. And we will receive some message after which our efforts will towards building our new identity will become more stable. We'll say, okay, I did all the hard work, I did it really fast, I took action, I got things done, and by April 18th, April 19th, you would hear a message, get some information, or perceive some information. It need not be someone delivering a message to you. It could just be your mind saying, okay, now I've done the hard work. Time to become stable. And that's when Mercury enters into Taurus. Okay? There on April 19th. And we slow down. We slow down. We become stable. We take it a little easy. We enjoy. Because Taurus is a very slow sign. It's a very stable sign. Okay. Yeah. Now the next important thing happens on April 23rd. And this also kind of fits into the energy slowing down a little bit. Mars enters the sign of Cancer. Okay, Mars does not like to be in Cancer because Cancer is ruled by the moon and Mars is the masculine sign and moon is the feminine one. Okay, it's the feminine sign. It's receptive. Mars is aggressive. It likes to get things. It likes to go and do things. It's action. And moon is receptive. It likes to receive. So Mars does not like to be in the sign of Cancer. That being said, I do believe it's a positive thing that Mars has come into Cancer. Now, why do I say this? Because Mars has been in Gemini, okay, since March 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. And since March 3rd, we've received a lot of stimulation. We've received a lot of information. There's a lot to do, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And it has been overwhelming. We've been taking action, but it has been overwhelming. So as Mars comes into Cancer and that drive to take action, that things of getting things done slows down, the pace slows down, I believe it'll be good for us because it'll give us a breather. To really go within, because Cancer retreats within, to go within and understand what we've done in the past month, what we've released, what we've built, where we are headed. It'll give us a chance to reevaluate. It'll give us a chance to take care of ourselves. Because Cancer is also self-care. It's our emotions, it's our family, it's our foundation, it's going within. So Mars coming into Cancer will give us a breather to do these things, to reassess maybe. Am I building the right life? Am I doing it the right way? Is this me? Whatever it is for you, it's going to give you a chance to go within. Okay, and this happens a few days after Mercury changes signs and Venus changes signs, and this is one day after. Let's see this. I didn't speak about this. This is a little after, on April 22nd, Uranus and Venus conjunct. Okay, Uranus is a very sudden energy. It does things out of the blue. You're not expecting something and suddenly it'll happen. That's Uranus for you. And why does it do this? Because it wants you to come into your own. It wants you to get rid of everything that prevents you from coming into your own. And Venus conjunct Uranus means it is going to get rid of anything in regards to your relationships, in regards to your projects, your finances, your skills, your self-worth, your values, that is preventing you from coming into your own. And I haven't spoken about this in this video, but the theme of this whole year with the Uranus-Saturn square that's going to be pretty much all year is about coming into your authentic self, finding your authentic self. And it is through that, okay, I'm just going to leave it at that to keep it short. The whole theme is that, and by the end of the year, we would have found that authentic self, and that authentic self would be more tangible. And what do I mean by that? Because, it's easy for me to say. I mean that supposing you thought you were, I don't know, a corporate person, like you had that 9 to 5 job and that's your calling and you wanted to work up the corporate ladder, and that's what you studied in school, that's what you went to college for, but suddenly you sit back and say, hey, I'm not this person, I'm a writer. And that's coming into your authentic self. So the whole year we are going to slowly get rid of things that prevent us from coming into our authentic self. And with that theme in mind, when Uranus and Venus conjunct on April 22nd, Uranus is going to get rid of anything in terms of your relationships, projects, partnerships, legal issues, the way you look, anything Venus related. It's going to get rid of anything that's not letting you come into your own, that's not letting you be you. Okay, and soon after this, Mars is at 29 degrees of Gemini. A day after this, it comes into Cancer there. April 23rd, it comes into Cancer. And this is after Mercury receives that message a few days ago. And this whole energy is about going within. So Uranus will come and get rid of things that's not you, in terms of what I said, Venus things, relationships, projects, finances, skills, self-worth, values, how you look, how you feel, all that stuff. And Mars will come into Cancer and say, hey, let's go within. Let's slow down a little bit. Let's reassess. Let's reevaluate. Let's see what's good for you. Am I comfortable doing this? So that's what's going to happen. But mind you, we're not going to stop building. The way we build, the energy with which we build will change. From let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this now, let's take action, it's going to be, okay, let me think about this. Is this the stable way to do it? Can I build stability with this? That's what's going to happen. All right. So I've spoken about Mars entering Cancer. And let me not forget, before I forget, let me talk about this. At 0 degrees on June 21st, 2020, we had an eclipse at 0 degrees of Cancer. Mars is covering that spot on April 23rd. So whatever conspired around June 21st, 2020, we've been in that energy till now. And when Mars comes at that spot, it's going to release that. It's going to burst it open. Because Mars releases the energy of an eclipse. All right. And yeah, I do believe this is not a negative release, a release where you feel more wounded. I feel this is a release that's going to help you heal a little bit more. It's going to help you heal from what happened in June of 2020, June 21st. Okay? Why? Why will it do that? Okay. It is an Chiron is our wound. All right. Where is Chiron? Here. Sorry. Chiron is here. Okay. And it's in a sextile to Saturn. To me, this means Saturn through decisive action, decisions, definition, making things tangible, building the new future. It's healing us. And Mars will come and rip open that eclipse energy that happened on June 21st, 2020 and heal us. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. And Uranus is also in a semi-sextile to Chiron. It's healing us. By coming into our own, we are healing. This whole energy is about healing. Letting go of the past, building the new identity, eclipse getting released. It's about healing. All right. So that's that. The next major thing happens on April 26th. Okay? Is the full moon in Scorpio. And this is not exact. Okay, I can pull up the exact chart for you guys. Almost exact chart for you guys. Yeah, there we go. Moon oppose the sun. Now, what is a full moon? Full moon is when the sun and the moon are opposite. As you can see here, the sun is here and the moon is here. They're opposing each other. What do full moons mean? They mean a culmination point. They mean reaching a final point. They mean a release point also. And this energy is not easy because the sun and moon, the moon is your emotions, it's your inner heart and soul, and the sun is your consciousness. They're opposing each other. There's a fight going on. Okay, but through this fight is when we begin to culminate what we started with the new moon, building that new identity. It's when we begin to see clearly because there's so much light. Full moon, there's so much light. We begin to see what we planted on April 11th, see that more clearly. The efforts we started to put in on April 11th to build our new identity become more visible to us. We start to see clearly, yeah, I need to keep this, I need to let go of this. This is what I'm building. So you begin to see clearly. Okay? That's what a full moon represents. Now, this full moon is in the sign of Scorpio. Okay? Scorpio is a sign that is all about the truth. It's about finding the truth. It's about asking questions and finding the truth. It's about exploring the forbidden. All things that are forbidden are ruled by Scorpio, or taboo rather. But Scorpio is also catharsis. Scorpio is also release. It's also death, but it's also rebirth and regeneration. So I believe that when the full moon happens, this is a major turning point. This is a major rebirth point. This is a major point of transformation. Because Scorpio is also transformation. It's a major point of regeneration. And this makes complete sense because from March 13th to April 11th, we were focused on releasing. And then we've been focused on building. And because we've released the old and built the new, this is a point of rebirth. You come and you feel like a new you. It's not complete the process, but you begin to feel like a new you. Okay? And the moon is in opposition to Uranus. Sun is conjunct Uranus. Venus is right there. Mercury is right there. This moon is going to suddenly change our consciousness, our relationships, how we make money, our skills, our self-worth, our values, our mind, our daily routine, our diet, our health. It's going to bring about a major change, a major completion point. And I believe the new moon in Scorpio happened in mid-November 2020. This is a culmination point of that as well. Okay, so there's a lot of transformation at this point. And let's look at the chart a little deeply. Saturn is still trining the north node and sextiling the south node. It's helping us build a new life. It's helping us move towards a new path. Okay? And yeah. Yeah, so this full moon will bring about a major release point, a major rebirth point, a major catharsis, a major regeneration after all the hard work we've put in. Okay? So we'll discuss the full moon properly in detail on the full moon video because that's a whole bunch of stuff by itself, but that's the gist of it. And the next important thing that happens in April, that concludes the month, so to speak, is on April 27th. Okay, let's see that. There. Pluto goes retrograde. It was white. On 26th, it's direct. And then on April 27th, it goes retrograde. Okay. What is the Pluto retrograde about? When Pluto is direct, what is Pluto? Pluto is the sign that rules Scorpios. Pluto rules our subconscious mind. It rules our psychology. Okay, when Pluto is direct, we are working actively on our subconscious mind, on our psychology, on rebirthing it, on transforming it. But when it goes retrograde is a time of review. It's a time of reassessment. It's also a time where you reap the rewards of the work put in. So now the pressure eases off. But It's a point where if you've done the work, if you worked on your subconscious, if you worked on your psychology, if you've gotten rid of your fears, of your negatives, of your control issues, of your obsessive tendencies, it's going to reward you. But if you haven't, it's going to pull you up more. So I'm not scaring you. I'm just saying that Pluto retrograde does ease off the pressure, but it brings you back how much work you've put in. And it's going to be retrograde, I believe, till October. I'd have to check, but it's going to be retrograde till October. I think October. So till then, we will be reviewing, we will be reassessing, we will be reaping the rewards of what the work that we put in into our psychology, into releasing our fears, because Scorpio is also fears, and Pluto rules Scorpio. Scorpio is also control. Scorpio is also obsession. So if we have that within us and we've done the work, it's going to reward us. But if we haven't, things may come up for review where we will have to face those fears within ourselves. We will have to face those control obsessive issues within ourselves and deal with them. But it does ease off the pressure. But it also means when a planet goes retrograde, in this case Pluto, that the forward movement, the building process takes one step back. But with Pluto retrograde, it's so slow, it's so subtle that we will still be making a lot of progress till the other planets start going retrograde. And that happens, I think, more in May, nothing in April as we've seen. In May and into June, planets will start going retrogrades, and that's when things really slow down. Slow down in a good way, because it gives us a breather to reassess, recover, and also reap the rewards of the hard work we've put in. So that's what I'm going to leave you with for the month of April. To sum it all up, till April 11th, we will be doing a lot of release. But from April 3rd onwards, we will be mentally very focused on the future, on building the new identity, on creating the new identity, on taking action. And throughout the month, Saturn is trining the North Node, supporting our endeavors, supporting our paths, supporting our goals. And the full moon in Scorpio on April 26th is going to be transformative, extremely transformative. And by April 20th, that let's go all in, let's get this done now, that sort of energy will start to slow down. You'll adopt a more stable approach. You'll start to retreat within yourself a little bit. So that's what I'm going to leave you with for the month of April. And okay, I will talk about this, but if you want, I'm not going to talk about the month of April anymore. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on what's happening so that you can put this month into context. But if you know what's happening, you can put this video off right now. It's not relevant to you. But if you haven't been watching, or if you don't know what's happening, let me just give you a brief overview of what's going on in maybe 2 to 3 minutes. All right, so let me pull that up. Yeah, I'm going to start with Chiron Saturn. Chiron is here, okay, and Saturn is here. On Feb 9th, they sextiled. On Feb 9th, we started to build something. We started to take a decision that would heal our identity. And this is going to last with us, I think, for the whole year. And the whole year is going to be about constructing that identity, taking those decisions, taking more and more steps towards if you've taken a decision. And that will be very healing to us. So that's one. That's the first thing that's happening in the background. The second thing that's happening in the background is something that I mentioned in the video, but I didn't go into very deeply, is the Saturn-Uranus square. Saturn is here, and Uranus is here. Okay, these planets don't square very often. They're very slow-moving energies, and they square once in many, many years. And when they square, it changes things. And what is this whole energy about? This whole energy is finding your authentic self. The first time they squared exact was, I believe, Feb 16th or 17th. And it's going to square again in June, and I guess at the end of the year. So we're going to be in this energy all year. And this energy is about coming into your authentic self. Who am I? Who am I on the inside? See, we all live our lives thinking who we should be. But that may be vastly different from who you actually are. You think you should be a doctor, but you're actually, I don't know, an astrologer. I'm just giving an example. It could be anything. You think you should have a certain sort of relationship, but that's not right for you. You don't feel comfortable doing that. So this whole year, anything that's not your authentic self is going to get thrown out the door with Saturn square Uranus. It's not going to feel easy because squares don't usually feel easy, but that's what this energy is about. The next thing is Chiron Uranus. Okay, Chiron and Uranus. Chiron is here and Uranus. They're going to be in a semi-sextile. They still are. They're moving in a semi-sextile, which is a positive angle. As we come into our own in terms of our skills, our values, our self-worth, we are going to heal our identity. So that's happening in the background throughout the year. Then the new moon in Pisces happened on March 13th, and I spoke about that. We began releasing the past, ending the past. Okay. The next important thing happened in December of 2020, December 21st. Saturn and Jupiter met up. They meet up once in 20 years. So they begin a 20-year cycle. They met up at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and they began a new 20-year cycle. And Jupiter has covered a lot of ground since then. Till May 13th. May 13th is when it moves into the sign of Pisces. And what does that mean? We are seeing that new cycle. We are seeing glimpses of what that is about. And we are going to see more and more glimpses till May 13th, till Jupiter leaves Aquarius and enters Pisces. But this 20-year cycle, we haven't completed building it. We've seen what it's all about. We are seeing what it's all about, rather, till May 13th. But Saturn's still in Aquarius. It's going to be here till 2023. So we're going to build that new life that started for us in December of 2020. We're going to build it till 2023. So if you think, like, oh, the conjunction happened and nothing's changed, or I'm sure something must have changed, but it's going to take time to build and become tangible. And it's going to stay with us for the next 20 years. And the next thing I want to touch upon is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Pluto is here and Saturn is here. They met up at 22 degrees of Capricorn on Jan 12th, 2020. Now, this is an extremely big deal because this happens once in 35 years or 38 years, depending. And last time this happened was between 1982 and 1984. So we ended that cycle last year, 2020 Jan, and we began a new cycle. A new cycle that's going to transform our reality completely. And if you think about it, since Jan of last year, our material reality has completely transformed. And what did we end completely? What did we end? We ended a cycle that began in the sign of Libra in 1980 to 1984. We ended relationships. A lot of this is connected to relationships. But now, since Jan 12th, that material reality has shifted completely, and it's going to take some time to build. It's going to take some time to build, and this energy is going to be with us for 35 years. Okay. Now, so much background. Give me 2 more minutes, okay? The North Node was in Gemini between 2001 and 2003, and again, it's here because the nodes have an 18.5-year cycle. And what this means is what we started in 2001, 2003 is culminating one more step, is getting completed one more step. Because the nodes are here. They have been here since May 5th of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so look back to your life and see what you're completing now. Okay. And another thing I really want to mention real quick is that we had a lot of eclipses in the sign of Aquarius and Leo from 2017 onwards. Okay. And Jupiter is covering that ground right now. What does that mean? Whatever hard work we put in from then, we're seeing gifts, we're seeing rewards, we're seeing cleanups happen related to things that started with that eclipse cycle of Leo and Aquarius. Okay. And then we had, so this is the background, and very recently on March 28th, 2021, we had the full moon in Libra. Now this was a big deal because the new moon in Libra, which happened on October 16th of 2020, brought to life the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that happened on Jan 12th, 2020. Yeah, it conjuncted in Jan, and we saw a change. But the actual change, it started in October of 2020, October 16 onwards. It started then. And with the full moon on March 28th, that cycle culminated. What that means is a lot of what the Jan 12th 2020 conjunction was about after 38 years. We saw the beginnings of that in October. And now by March, whatever we started, whatever relationships, projects, etc., we culminated that. So it's been a very loaded year and a half for astrology, and that's why the background is important. And to sum it all up, March has been a lot about release of the old. Till April 11th, it is going to be that. And this month, April 11th to May 11th, is going to be building the new. And that's all I have to say. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And thank you so much for watching.